So JOJO Rabbit's directed by Taika Waititi. He's the director of Thor Ragnarok. He also plays imaginary friend Hitler in this movie. This movie's one of, I'm actually glad I don't have to explain the movie and be like, whoa, let me explain what it's actually about when I tell the premise. I feel like this movie got a lot of looks like that James Franco meme when people heard about it. And all I'd heard about it is about this little Hitler Youth kid and his imaginary friend Hitler, and it's a comedy with Nazis. But what it's actually about is this little Hitler Youth kid, yes, but he finds this Jewish girl hiding in his attic. He starts talking with her, starts befriending her, and that makes his dogma come face to face with the reality he now knows. And that's how imaginary Hitler is in this movie. Like, Taika Waititi, I thought he did great as the imaginary Hitler in this movie. He's a caricature version of Hitler because he's he's the kid's mind. He's the kid's version of what he would see Hitler as. Because of all the bullshit and propaganda, these kids were shoveled. So it completely works in this world of satire, and like good satire, this movie is telling a story with a point. And that's what imaginary Hitler is in this movie, the Hitler that Taika Waititi plays. When this Hitler Youth kid, who is all gung-ho for the Nazi ways, comes face to face with this Jewish girl, starts talking to her, and at that point, he has to question the dogma that's been shoveled to him. Imaginary Hitler is that part of his brain trying to pull him towards familiarity. I thought it worked brilliantly in this movie. I thought this movie did a really good job at showing that people tend to want to go back, or they tend to let their brains pull them towards familiarity even when what's familiar isn't what's right. And that's why this is a great coming-of-age story. Does it address that bigotry is a childlike mindset? Yes. But also when you come face to face with a situation that directly conflicts or calls into question what you've been taught, go for it, lean into it, ask those questions. Maybe what you've been taught is bullshit. Don't stubbornly stay locked in the mental box they've locked you into because, well, they said so. Following a way because you've been told to go that way, that's something kids do. And at a point, you gotta question things because that's what adults do. So it's a bigger story about humanity, human nature, human beings. And most importantly, the movie's remarkably touching. I didn't expect that. Like, I hadn't heard about that. I'm sure that's been addressed in reviews, but I don't listen to critics. Just don't. I don't know. I play my video games, I watch movies myself, and I talk about it. But it had to have been addressed because that's actually the meat of the movie. It's not just, oh, this kid and his imaginary Hitler friend. It's a really touching story about a kid and his mom. Like, his mom's played by Scarlett Johansson. I thought she was great in the movie too. Everyone's great in the movie. I mean, the movie's funny. It made me laugh, but it never seemed to forget that it's dealing with very serious subject matter. And I never found the movie offensive. I feel like there was a little bit of, controversy when it came out. Granted, I'm not one of those people that comedy offends. I'm just not. A couple jokes for sure. I was like, oh, you went there. You did go there. But those moments were used to show the Nazis as the ridiculous, fucked up faction it was. But the movie doesn't lock itself into just being about Nazis. It's not that simple. It's an applicable message when seen with the Nazis in World War II. It's an applicable message today. It will be an applicable message 1,000 years from now if humanity lives that long. I wouldn't put my money on it, but if we do. It kind of threw me off a couple times when some of the comedy, I'm like, that is very 2019 comedy. Modern day comedy and lingo, that's what I'm saying. Which I get, they're not trying to make a period piece, they're making satire for a modern day audience. And I love the fact that the movie addresses the way to heal hate is through conversation, or at least the human connection through conversation. And it depresses me that no, social media is not that. You cannot form that connection during a screaming match or an argument at 280 characters at a time. All right, Twitter rant over. I think it makes it worse. That's all. In the end, I was really impressed with JOJO Rabbit. I think calling it, a comedy with a kid with an imaginary friend who's Hitler, that really undercuts the movie. It doesn't properly explain what the movie is. It's a comedy, yes. Did I laugh? Yes. Was it heartfelt? Yes. It's about family, human beings, the conflict between reality and ideology. Where that line is, where you question things, you have to stop following because you've been told you need to follow, and you just gotta think for yourself. It's baffling that it was pulled off. I'm saying not a lot of people could pull this off. The way Taika Waititi pulled off JOJO Rabbit, I'd say it's pretty genius. I'll say JOJO Rabbit's definitely worth watching and definitely worth buying on Blu-ray. Funny, would it have been on my top 10? Probably. Whatever, stand by my top 10. Top 11 now. All right, so JOJO Rabbit, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.